Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing another video, or actually my first video, in the North Node in the House and North Node in the Sign series. So I am naturally going to start with the North Node in Aries. So before I get started, I just need to say a couple things. There is more to your astrology than just your North Node. A lot of people are learning about the North Node, so it is becoming more popular, which is really cool. Because I really like how people are actually recognizing that there's more to astrology than just pop astrology and just your sun sign. And there's more than just, like, don't let any one placement define you, and don't let it be the only thing, because that's not the only thing in your chart. And there's endless interpretations of your entire chart. So make sure that you learn your chart, and learn what stands out, and kind of talk to a professional astrologer, or talk to someone like me that's willing to do readings for you and kind of guide you in the direction of what your strengths are, where you can develop, what kind of life lessons you are trying to have in this life, and where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna be, all that stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So, North Node in Aries is a very interesting placement. So the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. For those of you that don't understand basic astrology, Aries and Libra are the first and the seventh sign. So they are opposite of each other. Every sign that has an opposition is going to be 6 signs away from that sign. So they are an axis. They are the axis. Aries and Libra is the axis of self versus other. So a lot of the time, with having the North Node in Aries, the North Node represents this direction in life that you are trying to go in, you're trying to grow, and the way that you're trying to manifest the higher elements of that particular sign. And the South Node is where you're likely to manifest the lower energies and the less evolved manifestations of that sign. So in this particular instance, you would have a higher level energy and a higher a positive Aries-like quality, and you'd have more of a negative Libra-like quality. So with that being said, Aries North Node people are very driven, very self-focused, because in this life you don't want to really, you learned about people, you learned about partnerships, you know how to please people. That South Node in Libra knows how to please people and to be with people. And a lot of the time with North Node and Aries people, they are kind of lonely sometimes because they just want to focus on themselves, and they have so many things they want to do for their own lives and their own development that they're not really worried about partnerships. But a lot of the time with the North Node and South Node, what will happen is you will try and go back to your South Node for comfort, because it's something that you're good at and something that you are comfortable with, and you won't want to leave that. So a lot of the time, people that have Aries North Node and Libra South Node, they want to get like fulfillment and validation from other people, but a lot of the time the only validation that they're going to be able to get is from themselves, and that's really what they need to do. The North Node in Aries really focuses on the self and the direction in life. So follow your passions. If you're a North Node in Aries, follow your passions. Follow what makes you happy. Follow what brings a spark in you. What makes you feel alive. Because that's what the first house is all about. It's all about feeling alive. It's literally the instant you were born, the life that you were given, and all that potential. So having the North Node in Aries makes you a very forceful person, and in a good way. You are honestly able to go after your goals and go after your ambitions and really, really tackle them hard and get somewhere with them and really become something great, because North Node in Aries is all about, like I said, it's all about the self and the image. So a lot of the time, North Node and Aries people, and this is more so kind of transition into North Node in the first house as well. North Node in the first house will more than likely be more focused on the self-image, because the first house is how you're represented and your self-image and self-concept and all that stuff. So Aries, or North Node in the first house, is very focused on the self, very similar to the North Node in Aries, but it's a little bit different. because there is a sign also in the first house. It doesn't necessarily have to be Aries. Now, if you have North Node in Aries in the first house, that's intense. There's a lot of the themes about North Node and Aries are just going to kind of be amplified for you. But having North Node in the first house, because the first house represents your self-image, and it also represents your the way you present yourself, you could have a very different way of presenting yourself, because the node is trying to grow and expand. So the node is similar to Saturn. It grows with time, and you gradually learn these skills as you get older. So when you have your North Node in the first house, you are trying to find your purpose. You're trying to find your direction. You're trying to find your passions. You're trying to find what makes you unique. You're trying to find what makes you you. And you're trying to kind of get away from what other people think. And you're trying to get away from partnerships and developing interpersonal relationships. Yeah, those are great and those are awesome to have. But at the end of the day, they're not going to be what fulfills you. What's going to fulfill you is your own passions that you find through experiencing life and learning and growing. So the more you learn and grow and expand in your own personal way with North Node in the first house, you'll become more self-aware, and you'll be able to bring that partner in the future. A lot of people with South Node in the 7th house either marry very, very early, or they marry very, very late. And a lot of that comes from, if they marry early, it's because they're comfortable in that relationship and they're okay with that relationship. And that's a totally different thing. I'm not saying South Node in the 7th house or South Node in Libra is like absolutely terrible. It's not like that. It's not like you're going to have terrible relationships or anything like that. It's just you know how to have relationships, and you have to find a way to balance that axis of the self versus the other, of the Aries versus the Libra. You have to really find that middle ground, and that's why a lot of people sometimes will get married early and have partnerships early in their life, because they chose to have more of the dichotomy and the kind of like the balance between those two signs in like a literal situation, like having a partner and then trying to find your own self. But there's other people that go the opposite way, so they try and find their own self first and then bring a partner into it, which in my opinion is a little bit better, a little bit less of a struggle, because you know what you want. So that's North Node in the first house and North Node in Aries. I hope you liked it. I actually have this placement. I actually have North Node in the first house, so I feel like I was just kind of talking to myself for about 10 minutes. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the North Node placement. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I did make a video about what is the North Node, and kind of an introductory video to this series. So I'm going to put that down below as well. If you like this video, obviously put a like down below. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I put out new videos all the time. Astrology, spirituality, languages, music when I get my keyboard thing fixed for Christmas, which I'll probably upload this around Christmas, so that's awkward. But yeah, singing videos. I do music videos of me playing piano, and music, languages, business, life update, astrology, spirituality, Jupiter, Saturn, which is astrology, all that stuff. I do those videos. So if any of those interest you at all, make sure to subscribe, and I will put out new videos all the time for you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.